Hello and welcome to Love Anything Art. I'm going to be using various pieces of leftover clay that I have, just itty bitty pieces. Got some blues and some greens and this pink, purple, and some blue. I'll just pick out all the colors I need. And these are all the colors, and I'll just take this white and this pink and mix them together just to make that pink not so neon. And then after that I will mix all of these up and get them all nice and soft because they've been sitting there for a while. I've got them all mixed up, and this is that pink that I had mixed with the white. And I'll just take each one of these and flatten them with my finger and then just gently roll them out with my roller. Now that I have them all rolled out, I'll just take them and stack them one on top of the other. You can do it in any pattern that you want. I just wouldn't have two dark colors right beside each other. I would try to do a dark, light, dark, light. And now that they're all sandwiched together, I'll just make sure it's all nice and stuck together. And then use my roller and give it a nice gentle roll. You don't want to be too forceful with it because it will make all the layers kind of mushy. Just do it gently and take your time. Now I'll just cut off all of the wonky, messy ends. And then I'm just going to make sure it's all nice and flat. And then I will just cut it in half. And then you'll just stack them on top of each other. I would just put the green on top of the purple. Don't put the same color on top of the other color. And then again, just give it a nice gentle roll. And then I'm taking a little piece of the scrap that I cut off a minute ago. I'm just going to roll it out. Now that I have that rolled out, I'll take my piece and I will cut it in half once more. And then take a little snake clay and then just put a little piece, one on each side, or you can do 3 on this one. Just spread them out a little bit so they don't all stick together when you flatten it in a minute again. And of course there's a cat hair in there. And then just stack it on top and flatten it, and then again you're just going to give it a nice gentle roll. And one last time, just cut it in half. And then again, put a couple more pieces of that rolled out snake clay in between. And then put the top back on and give it a nice roll. go ahead and cut off a little slice just to see what it looks like. And there's your faux wood that's pink and purple and blue. And then just cut off 2 pretty good sized chunks of pieces. And then with each one, you'll just kind of take your fingers and pull from both sides in an outward direction. And that's just to make it a little bit more wood-like. And just chop off the ends. And then I'm going to make this into an arrow shape. I want to trim up the sides a little bit more. And then on the one side, I'll make the arrow pointing in and remove that chunk of clay. And then on the other end, I will take off the outer pieces of clay. Just gonna measure it out, make sure it's directly in the middle there. And to make them into wood planks, I'll just cut it into 3 even length pieces. And then gently push them back together. And then just to further make them look weathered, I'll just take a X-Acto knife and make little lines across the top. And then on the sides too, I'll make little dips and indentations, just to make it kind of look old. It's been on the beach a while, you know. Sand, wind, sun, it gets weathered. I've rolled out a thin piece of black clay, and I'm going to place that on the bottom plank of one of my pieces, and then just chop off the excess. And this pretty blue color is called robin's egg. Thought it was a nice bright beachy color. I'm going to make a seashell out of this. I'll just make a ball and then pinch it between my fingers and make one end come to a point, and then just cut off just a little piece of the end that comes to a point. And then give that a nice gentle roll. It'll make it look like a little pill. And then with the piece we cut off from, just flatten it a little bit more and make that end come to a point again. And then connect the 2 pieces. And use a tissue blade, and you can make little lines down the seashell. And then I'm going to place that on at the end of my little black piece of clay I put on. Once I have it on there, I'll just take my cutting tool again and then just make the lines a little more prominent. I've rolled out another piece of black clay, and I'll just cut it in half. And then give it a nice gentle roll. That one's just a little bit too long. Take off a little piece. And then I'm going to put this on the end of my black clay, one on each side, so it will make an arrow. Next, I rolled out some pink clay until it's long and thin. I'll cut off 5 even length pieces. I'm going to make a starfish. So I just want to put the pieces on there in the shape of a star. I thought this would be easier than like molding it in my fingers and making 5 points, because the star is going to be kind of small and it would be a little bit difficult to work like that. So I'm just making one of those traditional childlike stars. You learn how to make stars when you're a kid. Make each of the points more prominent, and then take my needle tool and make little dots for texturing. I'm going to make 2 holes at the top, one on each side, and this is for hanging. And then make sure you go through the back also. And this next part can be a little bit tedious, but it can be kind of fun too. It actually didn't take me as long as I thought it would. But I'm rolling out some green clay, and I'm making little letters. This first one is going to say beach. And then the second one here will say this way. And I made another little seashell, and I want to put it at the top. Thought I would complete it. And then I'm going to put a little bit of green clay right there at the base of the black clay on the arrow, just to help make it stand out a little bit more. And I'll put it at the base of the arrowheads too. And I thought it would look nice if I put a little piece of green clay underneath the beach sign. I rolled out a ball of this pretty green blue color, the pink, and then the robin's blue, and some green. I'm going to make another seashell. And then with the pink, I'm going to roll it out. I'm going to cut off 5 even length pieces. I'm going to roll them out, each of them, so that they are a little bit longer. And then again, I'm going to make that star shape for the starfish. This one will be a little bit bigger. And then be sure to flip it over and do the texture on the back side of this one. And then with the blue and the green clay, I'm going to roll each of them out so that they come to a point. Place them together and then make sure they are the same size. And then twist them together, and this will be a nice seashell. And you can cut off any excess clay if you don't want it to be too big. And I've made a second pair for my other one. And on each of these, I have made a little metal piece stick out of the bottom. So there's 3 on the top of the wood signs, and there will be 3 coming out of my little shapes. And I'll do that for both pieces. And then I will bake. Remove all of the little metal findings after you bake them. And we're going to put some stretchy cord in there. This is what I'm using. Nice and stretchy. To cut off a piece, just insert it into the bottom where the metal finding was. And then place your piece that you want dangled right below it, however long you want it to be. Just measure it out with your finger. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you're going to take some scissors and cut off the piece. And then I want mine dangling at different lengths, so I'm going to make another piece, this time the cut a little bit bigger. And then I'll make one more where the piece is a little bit longer. So I have 1, 2, and 3 length sizes. And then I will glue each of these into the board. Just put a little glue on the bottom, and then you can tuck that in there. I would just let it dry before you put the bottom pieces on. And then be sure to attach the bottom pieces once that dries. Now I'll cut off 2 more pieces of even length sizes. At this point it doesn't matter exactly the length, you just want them to be long enough because we're going to make this the hanging mechanism at the top. You just put it through one of the little holes and then tie a couple of knots. I did have to tie about 4 to 5 on each one. You don't want it to come loose, you know, when you're at the beach having a good time. And then be sure to do the same to the other side. Cut off any excess string that you have. And then resin if you want, and assemble. And here they are. I really like the way they turned out. I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning I was doing this and thinking, this is not gonna work. But I really like the way they turned out, and I do plan on wearing these when I go to the beach one day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!